Welcome, everyone, to another exciting week of our Mission Matters Twitter Spaces. Every single week on Thursday at 4 p.m. PST, 7 p.m. EST for all you East Coasters and wherever else you are in the world. We put together a weekly series inviting our authors, our podcasters, all of our supporters and our family together to join us on these weekly discussions. We change up the topics. Today's topic is actually, do you offer discounts and promos during the holidays? Since Black Friday and the holidays are pretty much right around the corner. Right now is usually when you want to start strategizing around this. It's a month out. And so we want to stay ahead of the curve and we want to plan ahead. And so with that, I don't know if anyone here has coordinated any promos, but this is essentially what we're going to be talking about. And so for many of you that are tuning in, or this is the first time you're learning about Mission Matters is a media platform focused on the needs of entrepreneurs, executives, and experts. Our mission is to amplify their purpose so that we can inspire and educate future generations. And on the back end, we're also a thought leadership platform. We have an entire book publishing division where we have published over 300 authors in a wide variety of books and topics. Many of them are with us today. Also, we also have an entire podcasting division. We have nearly 200 podcasts that we have launched and managed, and an entire network of podcasters that we are building. And so many of them join us as well on these discussions. And so with that, I am going to pass the baton here to Adam, and just some ground rules just for Twitter Spaces. Since this platform, since it is many of our listeners that are tuning in may not know your name, so please say your name every single time you speak so that the listeners know who you are and can reference you for future, just so you guys are aware. Secondly, you guys are all here on the platforms. If you guys are not following each other, recommended to connect with one another directly, follow each so that you guys can stay connected beyond just this discussion. And lastly, since there can be some background noise, and since this conversation is recorded, please do mute your phone when you're not speaking, just so we don't pick up some of that background noise or other things that might be taking place. So with that, we're going to coordinate some intros right now. Adam, why don't you take the lead?
All right. Thank you, Chirag. Appreciate it. And definitely go through and follow everyone. Deborah, I just followed you. Welcome as a first-time guest on Twitter Spaces with us. So excited to learn more about you and your background and have you join us. So just to get us kicked off, I'll go through one by one and let's all announce ourselves and keep it, 30 seconds intro, just kind of saying who you are and what you do. If I can start, Lakeisha, please, if you want to start.
Thank you, Adam. I'm Lakeisha Mazur, Business Development Advisor for Legal Help, the number 4biz.com. I own a legal services agency, and I'm one of the Volume 8 Mission Matter thought leader authors.
Awesome. Great. This is Adam. Awesome. Great to have you, Lakeisha. Roman, please. Good to see you again.
Glad to be here. My name is Roman. I'm the CEO of Ally. We're a software as a service platform that bridges instant drivers together to create a perfect transaction, allowing everyone to retain earnings and maximize their revenue and create what we call a perfect delivery experience.
Awesome. Thank you, Roman. Great to have you here. Annette, welcome. Good to see you.
Hello. Thank you so much for having me today. I realized my mic wasn't on a minute ago. My name is Annette Sollars. I'm the owner of a retail shop called I Want here in Chicago. And thank you for having me. I'm looking forward to this group discussion.
Awesome. Good to see you, Annette. Deborah, welcome. Good to see you here for the first time, and I'd love to learn more about you, please.
Hi, thank you. I'm Debora Hartmann. I live in Miami and I work in PR. I would do some PR for tech, especially right now I'm working on a really cool project. And I have different clients in different industries, from reputation to politics, alcohol or spirits. So I'm very excited to connect with everyone here and see what's everyone doing and stay informed.
Awesome. Great to meet you. All right. So just to get us kicked off here, do you offer discounts and promos during the holidays? I know some individuals on this call are in the service business, some SaaS, as Roman mentioned, some have physical products like Annette. So just opening up the floor, what's going on during the holidays?
Well, this is Annette. And yes, we do gift certificates and things throughout the holidays. I'm fortunate in being a retailer in that I sell healthware and eyewear, which is all by prescription. So my customers and clients need eyewear year round. And they have insurance benefits that they use at the end of the year. And then turning into the new year, they have new benefits starting over again. So it keeps us busy on reorders and repeat customers year round. So very grateful to be in the healthcare and one sector of retail that people need to have.
Maybe if I can just dig a little deeper in that, I'm curious, any specific like promos, or do you send out emails? Or because part of this is I'll be straightforward, I'm like, so that everybody that listens to this maybe gets ideas, because we've never at Mission Matters, so we've never really run promos or anything like that at the end of the year that I can recall. Maybe Chirag remembers otherwise, but anything specific you do to just increase sales or kind of drive business towards the end of the year through promos?
We do. We reach out on our social media and we have events like trunk shows and things where we show line collections, and we do gift certificates around the holidays. But for us, as I was just saying, it's people need to see year round. So it is something that we do keep going year round. And with the healthcare business, we have every month where we celebrate or bring awareness to certain health conditions, such as October being breast cancer month. So we would do a promotion on maybe on mastectomy bras or breast forms or other things like that. So each month that we're seeing different health conditions, then we do promotions for that condition is with whatever healthware or device that we would have for that condition. So one has something, sadly, with their health, but fortunately, there are a lot of products out there that really truly help people with their needs all the time. But we do recognize by awareness of those months. And I'm also a breast cancer survivor myself. So that tends to be a big month for me where I do giveaways and not just promotions, but, gifting to people that may possibly not be able to afford something when they're going through their treatment process. So not just gifting, but also donating and things like that.
Who else? Thank you, Annette. Who else? Who else like to share maybe some things that they have planned or have done in the past during the holidays?
This is Lakeisha. I definitely have something. Usually, to make sure it executes perfectly, have that marketing calendar. So, just to make sure that if you're going to offer the discounts or the promos, make sure you already have that in your marketing calendar as part of like your budget, depending on how much you're going to spend. A cool email that I had come across my desk was saying how there's always like this mad rush at the end of the year, and they throw like sales at people, especially in like the info industry where people are selling like, coaching programs and anything that falls along those lines with like instant class deliverability, and how they're having these sales, which actually devalues the brand. So one word of caution would be, as a business owner, I mean, yeah, it's the holidays and the discount, but at the same time, make sure that you're offering those discounts reasonably, not because your quarter 4 sales are looking a little low. For me, part of my book of business is Yay Health Insurance. And so what I do is to build referrals, as for every 3 people that they send my way and I'm able to write business, because everyone's healthcare has different needs. I like to say I can go ahead and mail them off a $50 gift card, which is really great, from the holiday perspective, because I don't work in that constrict time frame like most ACA health agents do. But at least I know I'm giving good quality. And I didn't think I gave a referral program as a discount promo, but I was like, well, yeah, I kind of guess it is, because the phones ring off the hook. And even if you're trying to retain a book of business, whether you're like opening groups or you have big accounts, you still need that touch point. And if you're going to do your touch point, you should actually do it a little bit before the holidays. Like, I got something in the mail today from St. Jude, who I donate like every year. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. They're hitting me up to like give them something else before all the other people, because your name is on a list once you donate to nonprofits. That's that season. But it's nice if you actually get ahead of the game, because now I'm already pre-budgeted for that. But yeah, don't water down your discounts and your promos so you don't feel like you're desperate for sales or your business. And be ahead of others to be top of mind. You should always be top of mind. And sign your own cards. If you can find a service where you sign your own cards, that's really authentic.
I do that, and I do that I typically have the sale about 3 weeks before the Christmas holiday, just following Thanksgiving. In the large city of Chicago, a lot of people go out of town for big holidays like that. So then you have less people that are actually in the city. But yes, you cannot give yourself away. And big box stores are, you're inundated with the race to the lowest common denominator. So you really got to keep your head above and stay far away from that so that you are not going to be drowning from giving yourself away.
This is Roman. So I couldn't agree more. I think it also has to do with philosophy and also the type of industry you're in. If not used correctly, can cheapen your brand, can cheapen the quality or perception of quality for the products. Obviously, if you're a big brand, let's say, for example, Apple, and holidays are coming up and you want to give a discount or something, obviously you've already maintained and established your quality of product, so the discounts in that situation doesn't really affect you that much. But if you're in a service type of industry, discounts dramatically lower the perception of quality and value. So really understanding your market, your business, and kind of positioning it in such a way. I work with a lot of restaurants, and I always advise them to never give away discounts. Give them gift cards. Hey, here's a birthday gift card. Here's a gift card for that you can give to a friend, because once you give that, that person's going to come with a couple of other people, and the cost per acquisition of whatever that gift card's cost is not going to be higher than your advertising cost, let's say. And specifically leveraging strategies such as that is very, very advantageous. But once again, if you're offering a discount, a promo, some kind of incentive, it all really depends on kind of your industry and your value proposition and what you actually want to get from your customers.
I would like to agree with that, and also maybe accompany it with like a very good strategy and narrative. Give it power to that marketing campaign that you are going to launch with a very good narrative behind it. It makes sense. It compels people to feel something about that buy, to connect with your brand. That's a very, very strong point. That's something that Apple does all the time, to not only just send a promotion to send a promotion. Sit down, think about it, think about how is it gonna start and end. And a very important thing is that it has to be trackable. It has to be, or you have to be able to see return of investment in everything that you do.
So now I'm curious what everyone's distribution channel is when they do offer these discounts and promos.
So I got an internship on a campaign that I ran previously. So this was maybe almost 10 years ago, but I used to work for a luxury publication, and we ran a campaign called the 12 Days of Luxury. What we basically did is partnered with 12 different luxury lifestyle brands. So like there was a jewelry brand, there was a custom suit brand, there was a couture brand where they offered a dress. And basically each of these companies, they provided one gift. And what we did is during the 12 days, we introduced a gift. And we partnered with two other media brands and also two social media influencers. And then there was our platform. So there was 5 people involved in promoting it. Every single day, we would send an email introducing one new gift or one new brand concept that we were gifting away. And what we basically did is created a lottery system where the goal was is to try to get as many people to sign up as possible. And it was a raffle, basically. One person won an equivalent of close to $15,000 worth of items from all of these luxury brands. And then what we did is, we created the disclosure so everyone knew that, they were signing up, they were providing their email address and their basic information, so phone number, email, contact information to each of the media companies and the social media influencers. So we would all collect, like that was kind of what we were all promoting and highlighting. And then we would all cross promote. As a result, all of the brands would get exposure from all the promotion. I think we had close to 50,000 people that entered that raffle. So it was, from an experiential and from a whole promotional standpoint, it was a pretty effective campaign. But it took some time to orchestrate that. It took like a month and a half of planning to really nail that one down. And so we kind of fell along with the 12 Days of Christmas. So that was like the whole theme of something we did. So one campaign I specifically ran in the past.
And I'm curious, did you reach out to the brands or the brands reach out to you first?
No, we came up with the concept and got the media companies involved, and then the couple social media influencers, who I think one had like 1 million followers, the other had like 250,000, but we're all brand aligned, so we were all somewhat involved in the luxury sector. And then once we kind of pinpointed, the concept, then we pitched the brands, and at that point it was almost a no brainer because all they had to do was gift away one item, and then they were going to get the promo that we initiated.
That sounds very interesting.
Lakeisha, can you repeat your question you asked a moment ago about the distribution channels? Where were you going with that? Because I want to hear a little bit more about that, please.
Well, this is Lakeisha. I'm not sure who's talking about, make sure you're tracking your ROI. But yeah, you definitely want to track your ROI for customer acquisition as well as your retention. But when I asked about, what is your distribution channel for the discounts and promos, I mean, Chirag was pretty on point. So it sounded like it was an email campaign, which like a lot of like coaches and people in that industry where they're selling their like speaking products and stuff, it's like that's how you grow your email list. And at the same time, they each have the freebies and things like that. So, I mean, that's a lot of signups overall. And as long as it's upfront, I mean, it's no different than doing like event marketing. Like when I did like for Halloween, I'll go for Halloween, it's still a holiday. I would say my promo for Halloween is I work from home and I went out and I bought big bags of chocolate and Smarties and lollipops. Now I'm in a fresh, young neighborhood. The neighborhood's about 3 years old. And I know there's a lot of youngsters and a lot of parents. And my particular point of marketing with them during the Halloween holiday is for child identity theft awareness. So I have fingerprint kits. So that's kind of like my lead magnet. I'm sitting there giving their children the experience of, it's actually an experience. So table, there's like 3 plates and 2 pieces of chocolate, and you get like a lollipop and you get a Smartie, because I always wanted to be that house that gave out the good candy. But it's the experience of dumping the whole plate in their bag, which teaches them abundance. And while their parents are kind of watching them like, wow, I can't believe this lady's giving out all this candy, I actually am handing them like a fingerprint kit, or I'll have my business cards to where you can see what I do. I'm like, oh, hey, I'm, the neighborhood, blah, 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 as far as marketing to small families. So any holiday, you can actually work it. But I was just curious, like, how is that being distributed to give out the coupons and the discounts?
Yep, this is Chirag again. So it was an email campaign. It was also social media marketing. This is 10 years ago, right? So when it came to social media platforms at that time, it was namely Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. And then we created, I think there was a one video that explained what the campaign was about. But those were the 3 platforms at that time. It was a website, yeah, and then the website, because a couple of the media platforms had some significant website traffic. So those were like the 4 or 5 mechanisms that we used to promote the campaign.
So from my experience also in talking about channels, by the way, this is Roman, kind of the way the world and marketing is going is towards kind of referrals and reputation, which puts light on the whole influencer market. And in my mind, with the prevalence of reputation and referrals and listening to all of these influencers on different channels such as TikTok, that's way that I've seen kind of my clients succeed is they use a distribution channel of influencers where they themselves don't distribute the discount or promotions. They have other people distribute it to their communities, essentially extending it, but also having the discount not come from the brand and potentially not lower the brand's reputation. It's more like, hey, you love me, I'm going to help you out, I'm going to give you this discount to this product or service, and you're going to love me forever because you only got it with me, kind of thing.
I would say that's true, or that happens a lot too, but I would also add on to your best advocates for your brands are your customers. So I would also give me an experience, leave me an experience in my blog or in your job page review. Those things also help. The first thing someone sees or look for, it's what's the review or how many stars do you have as well. And there's strategies for that too. You can offer the coupons or come back 5 times, and I'll give you an ice cream free if you give me a review every time, something like that.
It's Annette. And also working with your chambers of commerce to do art walks and other holiday events that they have going on where they combine other retailers so that you can, get a guide map to all of those stores. Then you're doing direct promotion once you have them there. And donating to charities and to schools and things will bring entire families into your business and friends. So chambers of commerce are a very good local thing to take advantage of if you have them in your neighborhood.
So this is Lakeisha. So just to confirm that sounds like the consensus, if you are going to offer these discounts and promos during the holidays, it's best to kind of have a partnership with other businesses that complement your vertical, correct?
Well, any business is good. It doesn't really matter what it is. It's better than an empty space, and partnering with any of them is advantageous.
This is Adam. I'm curious, is there we're getting into the holidays now, and when we were kind of warming up here, we were just talking about, the Amazon, like, and other things and promos that we're seeing. Anybody care to comment on maybe any campaigns or promos? Could be from Amazon, could be for anything really, that they've seen other companies do that they're like, wow, they really hit the mark on this one. Like it was a good one. Or the opposite, actually. Or I didn't think that wasn't so good.
This is Lakeisha. Now, I was watching Hulu just briefly, and because I had to be in my office, and Amazon, I'm guessing, I think there's it's Prime Day. I think today is a Prime Day. I'm not really sure. And then my thought was, but didn't we already have one this year? Like, and aren't most people? I'm curious, like, why aren't people already on Amazon Prime? Don't you want it the next day? Like, but one of the commercials, I don't know what the man ordered, but they made it seem like because he ordered it before everyone else, exclusivity, he was like the star of the neighborhood, and it was like just some basic item. He got it like on the cheap. But I thought that was interesting. I was like, didn't we already have a Prime Day? Like, are they selling the Prime? I do know this year the Prime membership is going up, and I'm like, could this be why they're doing that? That was just my kind of thought on that. Because it's going up, are they comforting us by throwing a promo to shield the price of Prime going up?
This is Annette. Is there really any exclusivity? Isn't it more like selectivity? I guess my biggest question for all of you would be if you're going to have an event or have gifts and giveaways and coupons or whatever you want to do, and the amount of money that you spend, if you put $3,000 into your event to get people into your door, what kind of return do you expect to get? From what I understand, you're looking at maybe a 1% return. So how much do you invest in marketing and advertising a holiday event where you're going to give promotions?
Well, you're not only just investing in that, you're also investing in brand awareness. That's a bit untangible, but in PR and reputation, that's what it is. It's a bit intangible. You cannot really measure it unless you have a note in a publication and you can see the UVMs and the unique visitors, and then you can have a rough number of how much that publication would have been if you pay for that space. So, but when you invest in money, you're not necessarily always investing in return of customers, but also in reputation and awareness or brand awareness.
Right. I've never been able to put a gauge to that of what you would expect to return, whether it be just one single customer that ends up being a long-term customer that brings their friends and family. I think every single person that walks through your door is equally important to engage and to give of yourself to each one every day, whether it be a promotion or you need them, you need to retain them, and you need to have them add to you by bringing their friends and family. So I don't know really that there is a gauge or a scale of return. You just hope that they all return and bring more.
Yeah, this is Lakeisha. I know for like my Halloween candy distribution is definitely brand awareness, only because I've seen so many families moving in and out of the development. But also my background was in education, where I was a noon duty, where I was around little kids all the time. So it is kind of actually a joy to like see the kids in the neighborhood, gauge the kids in the neighborhood, and see the parents, So, but yeah, for like that campaign, it is brand awareness. And that was definitely something I did put in my marketing calendar. Like, I'm buying Halloween candy. This is how much I'm allocating toward it. This is what I'm pairing with it, everything to just give them that experience. Because if the children enjoy the experience and they stay in the neighborhood and they come year after year, that's that same parent going, you know what? She's a home-based business owner. She's local in my area. Let me see what she is doing. And even when they come past the house, I let them know, hey, I work from home, and my house address is my Google My Business address. So if you want to look all about it, like, plus I created my neighborhood, which is like nextdoor.org, where you kind of know, I mean, some people use it for busybody, but if you use it for marketing the right way, it can definitely be a strong brand awareness. I mean, the only people I know, they're like the service plumbers and the realtors love it. But if I'm on there, I created the neighborhood. So I kind of, when I say something, I already got that brand authority. But definitely brand awareness for like the smaller campaigns. But if I was to go to like spend some money and go to like a home and garden show, then I'm gonna want some ROI. But it depends what products you have and what services, because even with the 4 core I have, I'm like, I already know that customer is worth thousands, and then even branching off from what I can offer them depending on their needs and their budget and their timing, that I can go ahead and be with their friends and their family. And I don't limit myself to just my backyard. I'm nationwide. But I do keep track of all that, especially in my marketing calendar and my marketing budget.
This is Annette, and I would add to that by saying that I do something similar where I do gift bags and I do branded candy like eyeball gumballs and eyeball chocolate with peanut butter and eyeball rings and things like that. So POP, professional or promotional materials that you even just gift out when they come into the store that they get to go home with and share. And that it truly brings them back, because then I'm branding them with eyeballs on everything.
I just want to comment. This is Adam. That is so cool, Annette. You go and
Thank you.
eyeball gumballs, walking out with eyeballs. That's awesome.
Girl's gotta do what she can do. It's rough out there on the street.
Okay, we talked about this a little bit, but I didn't ask it kind of in a direct question. I'm just anybody's opinion. How soon is too soon to start the holiday marketing thing? I know, I feel like it comes earlier and earlier every year. It could just be my perception. I don't know, but how soon does anyone feel it's too soon?
It's Annette, and I have to say that Christmas music should not be playing in retail stores before Halloween.
That's awesome.
No offense to any Christians out there or anything else, any other denomination. It's just too much.
Well, I'm Latina. We don't typically celebrate Halloween, and the Christmas tree it's already on in November, so it's good in November, almost like at the end of October, and I can't with the Christmas songs either.
Well, the store shelves are already full,
I
already
know.
full of Christmas. It
No
is a real thing.
Thanksgiving.
This is Lakeisha. I'm not even really like, I love my new home, but I'm not that type that it's Halloween, I need to decorate my house. It's Christmas, I need to decorate my house, because I like my garage as spacious. So I'm not going to buy anything if I can't put it away. But my house is decorated year round on purpose. So I actually like when Halloween stuff is out early, because I like skulls in general. And I like when the Christmas stuff is out, because this means there might be some solar netting that I can go ahead and make things more lighter, for safety purposes when people like walk up to the driveway for the candy. So I'm not mad at the holidays. I'm just kind of like, what strategically can I get only during this time frame that I could use later in the year?
Well, there certainly are a lot of eyeball items that come out at Halloween. So we are all over that for sure.
Yeah. Well,
and we do celebrate that year round too.
And talking about planning, how ahead you should start planning. I've started planning campaigns 2 weeks prior just because the client realized that they did wanted to do something and they just had some extra, again, budget that they didn't use for all their sales and they just want to do something. So as long as you have a good solid strategy, I think maybe too late would be like the day before.
Right. I do, my store is called I Want, which is EYE want. And I do all I want for Christmas, but I do non denominational Christmas windows where I just simply have trees in them. So they speak to everyone of every denomination, whether you be Jewish or Christian or any of those denominations. So we don't want to isolate or offend any customers in any way over any kind of holiday. So we try to be respectful of every person and their beliefs. So we do non denominational.
This is Lakeisha. I think when it comes to direct marketing, direct mail, this is because I had to curve my direct mail marketing campaign for election stuff. Okay. Because I don't know how many business owners have thought about this, but when you're pushing like direct mail campaigns, or you need to call clients and it actually has to be a telephone call. I'm curious, like, are you warning your clients what season is coming? Because they need to talk to you. So I have to like tell people, hey, I'm going to be calling you back in November, December. And I know everybody else is going to try to call you, but you need to have my phone number in your phone. And did you get my postcard? Because I was actually trying to do a life insurance awareness before September hit to my book of business. And somewhere in certain states, they didn't get it because they got all their election mail. And I was like, this is something I'm curious how other business owners are trying to like deal with that when you have that election year and candidate mail, which I like to do 6x9 postcards, which because that's pretty big, are getting like lost in the shuffle of political mail.
This is Annette, and I would say that more and more people are getting away from physical mailings. That is all that we had when I first opened my business. We were spending $3, $4, $5,000 a month on a yellow page ad. So with the advent of social media and the reels that are going on for a minute at a time, it's really tough to compete with that. You have to be right there in it because people see a reel and they see it for a minute and then it's gone and the next thing is coming. So you really have to inundate with social media. Postcard mailing and those kinds of things are very costly. And if that's your main source of what you do, then you have to be obviously very strategic about how you do it and the amount that you're going to be spending on that. And hopefully that you can transfer some of that into social media where it's not costing a huge amount of money.
Well, this is Lakeisha. I know I did put mine on pause, but one of my campaigns, and if you're going to go ahead and do that, you definitely want to make sure your offline marketing techniques can be tracked. Because when you're doing a cadence, even for whether you're trying to drum up new business or you're trying to get retention, if you're sending out a postcard, then and you've got your book of business or some new emails, you still need to, if you know about retargeting, and if you don't and you just know enough to delegate it to someone else, you can still catch them on Facebook and any other social media that they traffic. But I know with mine, I got a QR code, so at least I know where they're coming from, so I can track my marketing. And I don't pay that much for what I use it for.
Oh, that's great.
This is Adam, and curious to hear. And thank you for that, Lakeisha, to get that perspective from the physical, mail side of things. On the digital side of things, anybody notice anything different, like in terms of maybe like ad spend or cost or things like that, or just notice anything on the interesting on the digital side?
Hey everyone, this is Chirag. I know usually in Q4, all of these social platforms increase their costs, including Amazon too, by could be anywhere from 2 to 4 times what it would normally cost to advertise on Facebook or Google or even Amazon itself. So usually you do want to factor in that when you're coordinating your ads budget. Just depends on the platform, but historically that's kind of what's happened over the last several years.
This is Lakeisha. So now I'm curious, to avoid the Q4 ad price hikes, should you already be like that great money spender that the advertisers love? So maybe they will cut you some slack. I don't like cost per click or anything, but I do love a good ad from the viewpoint of the writer perspective. And yes, I click on it.
That's good, Lakeisha. I'm not going to answer your question because I don't have the answer, but I'm just going to say that was funny. You love a good ad, and then you click on it. Oh, that's good. Anyone else care to chime in on
I
that
clicked
one?
on them too, and then I regret it 2 weeks later.
It sounds like all of our comment and perception, we're all just susceptible to it too, though, right? As marketers, we fall susceptible to marketing. I'm guilty. I'm like, all right, this one's gonna get me.
I love like my favorite time of the year. It's Super Bowl, just because of the app.
This is Lakeisha. So the teachable moment in clicking in these ads and enjoying the good ads as marketers is we actually get to see what our competition is. And I feel like sometimes if I see an ad or I had a concept for something, right? And I was like, how do I get the words? Well, I mean, there was this one ad they were doing for employee retention credit, which I have my own ad, but I seen theirs and I was like, oh, let me tweak it. Let me innovate their ad. And that way my ad is like better than their ad before I run it. So it's research overall, why, when you click on it. But if it depends if how it's like resonating, and it's a good way to kind of look at what images are they using also to invoke emotion, because it is during the holidays. So they really want that discount of, oh, I'm saving money, or promo like, oh, I need to get it now. I mean, as far as like the retail side of it. For the service side of it, it's like, how much of this is going to come out of my paycheck? And I got to buy so-and-so presents. But I mean, that's why for me, I do the referral, because I'm like, well, I'm still trying to drum up business, but I understand that $50 is really a lot to a lot of people, especially if your market is not in, I don't know, I guess like, I don't say underdeveloped areas, but where the federal poverty level is not to where like they still, they kind of know where they are, but they still want to be consumers anyway. So you still want to give them a good deal. You still want to be of service. You don't want to take food out their mouths, because some people actually do choose like, oh, I really need to get that thing before I need to pay my bill.
Well, and as owners, we can use that discretion too and say we're going to, honor it well before the sale happens, or honor it well after the holiday for a short period of time, just for those people that once you work with them, you understand that they may not be able to afford a full price something. And they remember that courtesies are easy to do and a generous thing to do. And they should be looked at not even just at holidays, but with what you do year round.
This is Lakeisha. Yeah, Annette, I definitely agree on that. And not only that, when you're offering, discounts and promos, that's actually a good follow-up to ask the consumer, did they use the discount? Did they like the promo? And then it could lead, if you tweak it right, it could lead to a testimonial or review.
For sure. Everyone wants to feel like they're getting a deal with whatever they're buying, particularly in an economy like we have right now. I mean, we're basically in a recession and we have nothing but inflation that we're looking at. And it's not getting better anytime soon. We have our midterm election coming. Here we go. What's going to be happening? People, you have to be responsive to the people that are coming in your door and what their needs are. And you can only do that by getting to know that client, knowing their situation, and being generous to everyone that wants to come to you to do business with you. It's just a good standard of practice and care to take care of your people, and they will take care of you.
Well said, Annette. Well said. So typically we try to keep these around an hour or so. I guess I'll make some room and some space here for any final thoughts that anyone would like to just contribute, like thoughts, tangents, opinions, whatever else you want to say regarding the topic.
I hope everyone has a great holiday season and they don't give themselves away.
Great, Annette.
True. I just wanted to thank both Annette and Letitia, your point of view from a small business owners. It's very refreshing. I didn't know a few things. I don't usually work small business, so I did learn a couple things today.
What is your business that you have again?
I do PR for a corporation.
Okay.
Awesome. Well, with that, Chirag, I'll ask you to take it away.
Fantastic. So thanks everyone for joining us. Again, we host these conversations every week and we do record these conversations. So really appreciate you coming out. Next week, we are having a discussion, and actually we're changing up the format. So this is our first Twitter Spaces format where we are actually conducting an interview with one individual, and we're going to conduct that for about 30 minutes. We're going to invite our authors and our speakers then to chime into the conversation once the interview is complete and ask real-time questions. Our special guest next week is Facebook's first board of advisor. When Facebook only had 6 employees, basically the founders from Mark Zuckerberg, Sean Parker, and a few of those individuals, this gentleman, Carl Jacob, actually joined Facebook, and when they only had 150,000 users. And so he joined back in 2004, 2005, when Mark Zuckerberg was a college student. This one's going to be an exciting interview because we get insight on how this individual, Carl, was involved. I think he stayed engaged and involved until 2016, 2017 with Facebook. So we got to get the behind the scenes of how he joined as an advisor. Not only that, but Carl has successfully launched and founded 4 different companies, which he sold all 4 to big tech. And so engineer by trade. And so he's got quite the pedigree. And we get to get some insider tips on what he advised Mark Zuckerberg in the early days. I've had a chance and opportunity to listen to some of these stories. And if you've seen the movie The Social Network, a lot of those stories that take place, he actually was involved in some of them. So we will get to hear real insights on, what really happened then. Not only that, but then also hear his entrepreneurial journey and his investor journey along the way too. So please join us. This conversation itself is going to be recorded and will be shared with everyone. So thanks again, and I hope you all have a great evening.
Thank you, everyone. It was great to speak with you.
Thank you, everyone. Got good insight.
Thank you,
Good night.
Chirag.
Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.